Few artists have influenced 20th century music as much as Frank Sinatra. From his modest start in Hoboken, New Jersey, to the bright lights of Manhattan and Las Vegas, Sinatra became a major musical star with his unique voice and jazz-influenced swing songs. What many don't know is that Sinatra was also a car enthusiast, owning some of the most exclusive European and American vehicles. Join us as we explore 10 cars that show old Blue Eyes had impeccable taste, extending from his stylish hats and suits to his impressive collection of automobiles. Number 10. 1942 Chrysler Convertible. In his early days, Frank Sinatra probably longed for the chance to drive a stylish car with the wind in his hair. His purchase of a 1930s Chrysler Convertible, though basic compared to the exclusive cars he would later own, allowed him to dream big. In 1939, Sinatra began making a name for himself in the recording industry after cutting his first record. Staying true to the Chrysler brand, he upgraded to a 1942 Chrysler Convertible, signaling the beginning of his success and hinting at the excess to come as he rose to stardom. Today, early 1940s Chryslers are highly sought after because Chrysler stopped production during the war effort, making these cars very rare. A recent sale featured a 1942 New Yorker with an 8-cylinder straight-8 engine and 3-speed overdrive transmission. This model, in gold with a burgundy top and interior, even had an electrically operated hood, which was a great novelty at the time. Unfortunately, very few of these cars survive, with most needing extensive restoration to return to their original condition. After World War II, Chrysler redesigned the 1942 models to match the changing times. By the 1950s, they shifted to more practical designs, eliminating the fins and reducing the chrome, making these early models even more collectible today. Number 9. 1955 Ford Thunderbird. The 1955 Ford Thunderbird was one of Ford's most sought-after early coupes, perfectly suiting Frank Sinatra's status as a star of both stage and screen. Sinatra, who had won an Oscar for 1953's From Here to Eternity, had a fondness for convertibles, and the Thunderbird was one of his favorite cars. This affection was well documented in numerous photographs showing him smiling broadly while posing with the car. Visually, the Ford Thunderbird was a stunning car from front to back. It featured color-coded hooded headlamps, a large chrome grille, hubcaps, fog lamps, a long hood with an air intake, and understated tail fins. Priced originally at just under $3,000, it was considered lightweight at 2,981 pounds. The Thunderbird came with a 3-speed transmission and could reach an impressive top speed of 112 miles per hour. This car symbolized Sinatra's return to fame after his career had stumbled early in the decade. Driving the luxurious V8 vehicle was a perfect way for him to declare, "I'm back." As a rare two-seater made in the United States, the Ford Thunderbird marked a new era for the American automobile industry during a time of economic growth. Alongside Chevrolet's Corvette, the Thunderbird epitomized the age of excess that followed. Naturally, Frank Sinatra was right there in the driver's seat, enjoying every moment. Number 8. 1956 Continental Mark II. The 1956 Continental Mark II was the most expensive production car in over 20 years and represented the height of luxury in the mid-1950s. At this time, Frank Sinatra was at the peak of his career with the release of his concept albums In the Wee Small Hours and Songs for Swingin' Lovers. This was an era of excess, with Sinatra becoming the leader of the Rat Pack, a very exclusive Los Angeles social group that previously included stars like Humphrey Bogart and Errol Flynn. Originally made by Ford, the Continental Mark II was introduced a year and a half after the Thunderbird. Later, Continental merged into Lincoln and adopted the star-shaped logo. The Mark II was seen as the American equivalent of a Rolls-Royce and was made to high standards to compete with European luxury cars. The Mark II was notable for its upright spare wheel cover above the rear fender. Mostly hand-built, it featured interiors with hand-stitched Scottish leather and underwent rigorous quality control inspections. It had a 368 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 285 horsepower, equipped with many advanced features for its time, such as power brakes, power steering, power locks, power seats, and power windows. The Mark II was a marvel of the electronic age and suited to global stars like Frank Sinatra. Number 7. 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. In 1958, Cadillac aimed to rival Ford in the luxury coupe market by introducing the Eldorado Brougham. This car was seen as a significant upgrade from the already luxurious Continental Mark II, but it had a completely different character. While the Continental was known for its understated elegance, the Eldorado Brougham was all about flamboyance, making it the perfect car to cruise the Las Vegas Strip, where Frank Sinatra was a frequent performer at venues like the Desert Inn. Frank Sinatra's 1958 Cadillac Eldorado Brougham was a stunning sight in burgundy with a cream and gray leather interior. The beautiful car went up for auction in 2009. Its glove box contained a vanity set that included 6 small tumblers and a silver cigarette case, items that would likely be frowned upon today, but were popular and encouraged in that era. The Eldorado Brougham was powered by a 365 cubic inch V8 engine that produced 335 horsepower. It featured power brakes, a 4-speed automatic transmission, self-leveling suspension, and electric windows. However, this car was more than just its impressive specifications. It embodied the golden age of American automobile manufacturing. Among all the cars Frank Sinatra owned, this model perfectly symbolized the excess of the Rat Pack era. It was fast, fun, and flamboyant, with an abundance of style and flair. Number 6. 1962 Dual-Gia L6.4. In 1962, car designs began shifting from the extravagant, geometrically shaped land yachts of the late 1950s to curvier profiles with shorter wheelbases. The Dual-Gia L6.4, introduced in that year, exemplified this change. Though more modest-looking than Frank Sinatra's earlier car choices, it remained exclusive, with only a few available to the public. Naturally, Frank Sinatra acquired one, and another went to his Rat Pack partner Dean Martin. The Dual-Gia L6.4 featured a V8 engine with a 383 cubic inch block that produced 335 horsepower. It had a 3-speed automatic transmission and a 2+2 coupe seating configuration, similar to the Cadillac Eldorado Brougham. Sitting in such a car in 1962 felt futuristic. Unlike contemporary British marques like Rolls-Royce and Jaguar, which used walnut and wool interiors, the Dual-Gia L6.4 boasted the finest Italian leather, large convex analog instrument dials, and lavish chrome details. Despite being one of the finest automobiles of its time, the Dual-Gia L6.4 was not profitable due to manufacturing challenges in Italy for the American market. Only 26 cars were made, and they remain highly sought after, with some selling at auction for nearly $300,000. Number 5. 1969 Lamborghini Miura P400S. The 1969 Lamborghini Miura P400S is often called the world's first supercar. Frank Sinatra was eager to buy this Italian classic, considering it more desirable than a Ferrari. However, he likely gave away his Lamborghini Miura P400S shortly after purchasing it. Despite this, the car's iconic status make it clear why Sinatra, a car enthusiast, traveled to Italy to buy one in person. When it was released, the Lamborghini Miura was the fastest production car in the world, boasting a top speed of 174 miles per hour, according to Lamborghini. It featured a 3,929 cubic centimeter V12 engine that produced 350 horsepower and had a 5-speed manual transmission. Sinatra's model was the sought-after S version, which included luxuries like air conditioning, an overhead console, and an upgraded engine with an extra 20 horsepower. His car was custom-made in his favorite color, orange, with factory-fitted boar skin leather trim. With some models selling for over $1 million at auction, the Miura P400S is one of the most valuable cars Sinatra owned. There are only around 100 400S models still in existence, adding to its rarity and value. Although the exact reason Sinatra did not keep the car for long remains unknown, he continued to appreciate Italian sports cars, as shown by his next purchase. Number 4. 1970 Maserati Ghibli. In 1973, Frank Sinatra purchased a Maserati Ghibli, sold to him by his son-in-law. Although not as famous as collectibles as the Lamborghini Miura, the Ghibli exuded its own effortless cool. This car was more understated compared to the flashy Lamborghini and stylistically aligned with other sports cars Sinatra owned, such as the Ford Thunderbird and the Dual-Gia L6.4. The Ghibli means desert storm in Egyptian, and it's no surprise the car resembled the Dual-Gia. Both were crafted by designers at the Ghia factory in Turin, Italy. The Ghibli share the same 2+2 seating and long wheelbase as the 1962 Dual-Gia. Sinatra's model was silver with black leather trim and chrome accessories, featuring pop-up headlamps and front and rear servo-assisted disc brakes. Powered by a V8 engine with a 288 cubic inch capacity, producing over 300 horsepower, the Ghibli could reach a top speed of 154 miles per hour. Its performance attracted notable buyers like Peter Sellers and Sinatra's Rat Pack companion, Sammy Davis Jr. Sinatra's Ghibli was later sold to actor George Hamilton, maintaining its status as one of the most interesting cars Sinatra owned. Number 3. 1976 Jaguar XJS V12. The 1976 Jaguar XJS V12 was a famous sports car made by the British brand Jaguar. It came after the Jaguar E-Type and was popular from 1976 until the mid-1990s. This car was well known for its long hood, wide double headlight clusters, and sloping rear buttresses. It was fast, reaching almost 150 miles per hour, and could accelerate from 0 to 60 in 7.8 seconds, thanks to its powerful 12-cylinder engine. This particular XJS was customized with special features. It had an old-fashioned car phone made by General Electric and a fancy Panasonic stereo system installed in an overhead console. These features were considered very advanced at the time. This car was a gift from Frank Sinatra's wife, Barbara Marx. It was different from the American and Italian cars Sinatra usually preferred. In return, Sinatra bought his wife a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, which was also blue. Both cars were sold together in 2015. Sinatra loved luxury cars, so it's not a surprise that he kept the XJS for 19 years, almost as long as his marriage to Marx, which ended when he died in 1998. Number 2. 1981 Chrysler Imperial FS Edition. In the 1980s, Frank Sinatra's love for Chrysler cars paid off when he got his very own Chrysler Imperial FS Edition in 1981. This was a special version of the luxury car made just for him. It was blue, which was his favorite color. It even came with some of Frank's favorite cassette tapes, so you could listen to his music while driving in comfort. The name Imperial had been used for Chrysler's luxury cars since the 1920s. So, Frank was happy to have his own car in this special series. The FS Edition had a powerful V8 engine, luxurious leather seats, a futuristic electronics dashboard, wood decorations, and a big electric sunroof. But it had a problem with its fuel injectors that caused some trouble later on. Frank didn't just lend his name to the Chrysler Imperial FS Edition. He owned and drove one himself, and he even helped with its advertising. But sadly, not many people bought the car, and it was stopped in 1983. Even though it wasn't as popular as Frank Sinatra himself, it was still a nice tribute to Chrysler's most famous customer. Number 1. 1984 Rolls-Royce Corniche. In 1984, Frank Sinatra received a special gift, a Rolls-Royce Corniche. Sinatra, known for his collection of luxury cars, notably lacked a Rolls-Royce until then. This particular Corniche was a present from Sammy Davis Jr. and Dean Martin for Sinatra's 70th birthday. It was a convertible, allowing Sinatra to feel the wind in his hair once more. The car boasted a stylish design, featuring a mason black body and burgundy leather trim. Despite being a two-seater, it offered picnic tables in the rear and came with a set of crystal glasses and decanters for cocktails. Under the hood, it housed a powerful fuel-injected OHV V8 engine, capable of propelling the hefty 3-ton car to speeds of up to 120 miles per hour. Despite the sentiment behind the gift, Sinatra eventually gave the Corniche to his longtime assistant, Ingemar Fredriksson, as a token of appreciation for his years of dedicated service. By 1985, Sinatra returned to his roots, opting for a more modest choice, a Chrysler LeBaron Town and Country station wagon. This shift in preference perhaps symbolized Sinatra's contentment having achieved all he desired and reflecting the sentiments of his iconic song, My Way. Frank Sinatra's car collection showcases his diverse taste, from luxury to classic American models. Which of Sinatra's car is your favorite? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories. Thanks for watching.